Well, yeah, it's still going on.
Precisely America. Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, there are some bills in Congress right now that are being pushed by Joe Lieberman, which are cutting at the core of what we call constitutional freedoms, especially shutting down the internet. He's really pushing hard to have that backdoor switch. And in fact, I'm not sure whether you saw this or not, but 73,000 websites got shut down over the last couple of days on part of the WordPress servers because they theoretically were running copyright infringement content. We're not talking pornography. We're talking, perhaps movies, music, but it was a very broad stroke and unprecedented in terms of powers being acted upon on the internet. And this is now what we're beginning to stare down. And unfortunately, what we saw during the financial crisis was people calling Washington and begging, yelling, stomping their feet, exclaiming for them not to bail Wall Street out. And that worked for about 48 hours. And then Ben Bernanke and Hank Paulson got everybody in a room and basically said, you had to pass this, or we're calling out martial law. And the next thing you know, this thing's passing. So we're in really unprecedented times, Andrew, in terms of leadership not being responsive to us. And it's naked. It's out there. It's in our face, and they're basically saying there's not a lot you can do about this right now. And for me, as just a person that's doing the best I can and having dialogue with people like you and other folks, we have to have something in our tool belt to be able to deal with this kind of affront, really, is what I would call it, to our decency and our ability to have a democratic and call and response with our leaders. What's your thought?
Well, I do. I think people have to empower themselves in this situation and stop looking to the leaders of any kind to do it for them.
They're not going to. They're just not.
Oh, yes, they are. That's what I think you may be wrong.
The leaders are not. I mean, they're clearly showing that they're not listening.
Oh, the leaders are absolutely not going to do anything. We're going to watch in Cancun in the winter. The world leaders do nothing very intelligent about the climate. If anything, we aren't. Anybody who thinks that the corporations and the political leaders are now going to do anything serious to alter the situation, I think, should be all sent to an asylum in Maui where they can talk to each other and bore the hell out of each other because they're insane. It is obvious that we're in a vast network of interlocking powers which thrive in their own universe and depend upon the subjugation of the whole world, really.
Yeah.
They don't care that 2,000 billion people are dying a day. They don't care that the seas are polluted. They don't care about anything that's really happening. They can't, because if they did, it would entirely change their pursuit of power, wealth, money, and this domination ethic, which is prehistoric. I mean, they might as well just become dinosaurs.
It is prehistoric, and it's and I think in many ways it's completely historic in the sense that I don't think we've ever stared down. I think what does Brzezinski call it? A technotronic. He calls it a technotronic. It's not even a technotronic democracy. It's a technotronic. I mean, that's the word that Brzezinski uses. It's technotronic in the sense that there's immense technology that's available now that wasn't available during the Third Reich. I mean, we're in.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, Hitler will look like a tea party compared to this kind of fascism because Hitler didn't have the nuclear bomb or the hydrogen bomb or very advanced kinds of biological warfare. Hitler didn't have television, let alone mega television sets in every room. Hitler didn't have the internet. Hitler didn't have global corporate monsters that he could control to control economic life. But I mean, an authoritarian one world sort of unified force field, horrible government could do all of those things, could have all of those things, as well as the media perfectly controlled to just issue idiotic news and endless reality shows forever. I mean, that's my 1984 on crack.
Yeah.
And it's possible this is real, it's here, but also the birth is here. The exact opposite is here.
Absolutely.
The dance of opposites that's our destiny is now being danced in all the opposites, isn't it?
I would agree with that because everything that you said is true, and the enormity of it, I believe, is true, and the scale of it is true, but the inverse of that is also true proportion to scale as well. And
yes, it's exactly right, because this is a divine event, and it is balanced in the divine because the divine is balanced. Now we have to find the way through by really committing ourselves to the birth and to birthing the birth in and under the laws that govern the birth, and stop pretending that they have anything to do with anything that the New Age has to say about anything.
if you could give people 5 pieces of practical wisdom that they could practice in their everyday lives to facilitate this type of birth, what would they be?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important to do some kind of simple meditation or prayer, something that you love to do that takes you every day into the presence of your deepest self. So choose practice that you love and practice it regularly, because it will begin to reveal to you that you're so much more than the person you think you are, that you are have great levels of inner peace and great levels of inner harmony, which will delight you and help you change the outer structure of your life. Secondly, really have the courage to see exactly where we are, and it takes a lot of courage to do that, because the only way to become strong enough to get through this next part is to start preparing for a big storm without terror, but grounding yourself in the deepest part of yourself, which you can only discover through sacred practice, as I suggested in the first suggestion. And start getting real about truly experiencing your deepest self, so as to be able to be strong enough in faith and strong enough in resolve whatever comes down, because no one knows what is going to come down, but we all now know, I think, that nothing but a great shattering could ever heal the great disease that we are sick with. The third thing is to really take seriously simplifying your life, because great financial chaos is likely now. I would have thought it's very close. And there will be a lot of uncertainty, so don't strap yourself with fantastic consumerist dreams. They're all about to be solved. Let's get real about what we truly need and simplify your life and get your expenses down and start realizing that a very simple, ordinary life with people you love, doing things that are devoted to helping others, is not a bad life. It's a glorious life. It's the life which has always made human beings most happy, and just realize that this can be built right now. And the fourth thing is to really pursue your physical and moral and emotional and spiritual health, because exercise, dance, celebrate, look after your diet, get ready to be strong for the next unfolding of the great evolutionary game, and get ready by becoming strong and healthy and supple as far as you can, and you can at whatever age you are. Fifthly, I would say to everybody, take heart. Do not be afraid. It's going to be very rough, but there is an amazingly just, balanced, harmonious love intelligence of the highest kind and love energy of the highest kind that is directing this evolutionary leap. And it will give you astonishing help if you align yourself with it through true surrender, true humility, true devotion, true spiritual inner work, and true dedication to pouring out what you discover inside into acts of justice and compassion and standing up for the oppressed and voicing the pain of the voiceless and doing the work of sacred activism. And that's what I would say.
Well, I think those are all incredibly salient and important and simple acts that we can all take. And, Andrew, I really want to thank you for coming on and hanging out with me for the last...
Oh, my God, I would hang out with you. You sound wonderful. I'd like to meet you. Such interesting questions, my God. Thank you.
Well, maybe we'll get there one of these days, and I'll come down to Taos and visit my friends down there and hang out with my friends.
Oh, I would love to meet you. Thank you for your wonderful, wonderful time and conversation. I so enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to do this, and I'll say hi to Richard Grossinger, who's a buddy of mine, and tell him we had a good chat. Obama is on Mount Carmel Island, and I think Richard is actually there right now. He's got his place on Bar Harbor, so in the vicinity.
They may meet.
You never know. Maybe,
that would be a fascinating conversation.
I think it would be incredibly fascinating. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that. So
yes, we should script it.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, once again, thank you. Take good care of yourself.
Thank you so much. Would you please send me a tape of this? I would love to have it from my website when it comes out.
I'll hook you up, and we'll make sure you get a copy. Okay?
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Take care now. Bye-bye.